6:34 now. In other news, starting in October of next year of 2020, you could be denied permission to board your flight if you don't have an approved real ID when you get to the TSA check-in.
You'll need a real ID compliant driver's license or a passport card, a military ID, a tribal ID, or a government ID to be even allowed to enter the TSA check-in site.
Now, the real ID requirement was passed by Congress 14 years ago, but the compliance date has been pushed back again and again. TSA spokeswoman Lori Dankers says the Department of Homeland Security says October 1st of 2020 is the final date for real ID.
Rather than speculating on what may or may not happen first, we're asking people to instead spend that time and that energy determining what type of identification they're planning to use. At this point, all indications are that on October 1st, 2020, the officer at the travel document checking station will be asking for a real ID compliant driver's license or identification card or another acceptable form of identification. And beyond that, I don't have any information.
Oh, I'm not here to sell either document to you today, but I am here to say that that's what we want people to do. We want them to make a decision for themselves whether they want to get a Montana driver's license that's real ID compliant for domestic travel and access to federal facilities, or would they rather carry their passport in with them when they travel domestically on an airline.
Now, Dankers recommends against carrying a passport for domestic travel because of the danger of losing it and the difficulty of replacing it. Instead, she suggests purchasing a passport card, which will meet the real ID requirement.
And here's what it will cost you. A passport costs $175 with a passport card. A real ID driver's license in Montana will cost you about $60. But in Gallatin and some other counties, there's a long waiting list to get that driver's license appointment. Right now, that wait in Bozeman is 69 days, and it takes at least 10 days to process your license. So state officials say you'll want to make sure you get that appointment no later than June 1st of 2020. And if Montana is anything like its residents, we kind of wait to the last minute to do some things. So good idea to get that done now.
You won't be allowed into the TSA check-in without it. So there you go.